Yeah, we talk weekly, y'all. What's going on? Let's get this mic right. We're gonna have a good show today. Make sure we got this thing. There you go. We sound right. My mic sound nice. You can't hear anything?
Yeah, my mic sounds.
You can't hear anything?
I hear you.
See, I don't. So Lauren can't hear anything. So we try and get this right. We talk weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. You want to try to turn yourself up and see what's going down?
It's this.
Yeah, that's what I said because these was acting up too. So, yeah, you know, ladies and gentlemen, you know how that gets when you're in a community space. Things start breaking down on you, and so you gotta just do what you do what you can do. So we talk weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
and the beautiful.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
Somebody would because say that one more again.
I didn't hear myself.
Say it again.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
Hold on, I think you on the other mic. Let me see.
There we go.
There
There
we
we
go.
go.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
on the other mic.
Right.
Somebody would be calling me while I'm on the show. I don't even know who that is either. And
Should
so,
have answered.
yeah, I know I should have answered it. Next time I'm gonna put them on the air like, yo, what's good? You calling me right now, and I'm on the show.
Like they know what time.
Yeah, like
How long you
come
been doing this?
I know, right? Yeah, you know what time I'm on the show. Don't call me while I'm on the show unless you want me to put you on Front Street. Because I will do that. I'll put you right on live on air, right? And so, you know, we got to start. All right, so we do have a dynamic show today. We have two interviews. One is the legendary Spinners, man. You know, I think, you know, listening to my mom play them, and you know, my grandmom, and you know, they were one of the premier groups, male groups that were out there that did all of that crooning and all that good old stuff, right? And then, you know, you had, so hold up, wait, because so 5 Heartbeats, right? They were based off of what?
People go back and forth between
Right.
the Temptations.
Right.
You got the Intruders. You got the Blue Note. Like you know what I mean. You got all them groups, but it's but they tempt. Like I don't know.
Okay.
They do a lot of different groups.
Yeah. One of the questions I do want to know though is, was it really that competitive with those groups? You know how we would see 5 Heartbeats where they would be competing on stage and things of that nature. I really want to know, was it like that? You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You
It
think
was,
so?
yeah. It's like that with the Boys to Men and NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys. Like, yeah. Absolutely. I think theirs was a better way though. Yeah. Like theirs was like real music coming out of Detroit and Motown.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's no doubt. All right, so we talk weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
So let's start with Sizzle. How was your day? Talk to me.
Oh my gosh, I don't even want to get into my day. I'm just going
We
to
want to
say.
know, Sizzle.
I'm just going to say 2 words, and I know women can get this: black hair. Okay, I'm just going to say that. And then I'm going to leave it at that. That was the basis of my whole entire day. And I'm just angry. I'm irritated.
Don't be. They
about
want
it.
ours. Are you kidding me? Yes.
I'm just so irritated about it. It's just, gosh.
Girl, I think we both had that same day because you see what I'm rocking.
And I would have had that on had I been able to find my hat.
Right.
I was going to grab one of my dad's hat, but he got a big head.
Right.
So I was just like, no, that's not going to work out. I look like, you know how the little kids when they put on their parents' hats and there's just like all this space up in here. Yeah.
That's how we used to wear it back in the like early 90s.
Yeah.
You know, Sean Poe. Put that hat all the way down like that. Put your ears down. You only can see, your eyes. That's no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, that was my day. And also, too, I'm in the process of a move. So I'm packing and all that stuff.
You moving?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I am.
I'm out the loop. Oh, my goodness. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
what's
you.
up.
Thank
Moving
you.
is
No
always, it's a good thing.
I know.
Bittersweet, but
Yeah.
it's still a blessing.
Yeah.
No doubt, no doubt. Okay, there you have it. All right, what about you, Classy?
I had a good day, but I don't know what happened. But
She said, I don't know what happened, but
I'm about to tell you what happened. What had happened
was
I don't eat Chinese food regularly, but when I do, I'll get like a veggie egg roll.
okay.
I ate that today.
A veggie egg roll, like a spring roll.
Spring roll, right?
Right.
I was sleepy within like 10 minutes.
After eating,
I was like, yeah. So my day it was productive, but then after I ate the spring roll, I needed to lay down. I don't know if I'm still catching up with the season or what, but it was like 4:30 and it was dark. And I'm just like, is it me? Like, it's 4:30 and it's dark outside. I was right. I took me a nice nap. So
I'm still kind of like feeling some type of way. As soon as they were talking about the clocks going back, I'm like, we still doing this? Like, why? Why are we still doing this? It just, it messes up your body, especially when it, not so much the fall back, but the spring forward.
Well, they said they're going to see about making it where they don't change it anymore. And I think that's in the system, the court system.
Yeah, I hope they do that too. I guess the problem is if they don't change it, then it's going to be either way. It's either going to be dark in the morning or get dark earlier in the evening. It's either one of the two.
Yeah, I mean.
And so which one you're going to be able to deal with? Darker earlier or?
I mean, once they said it, then it is what it is. You don't have to, your body doesn't have to adjust to the change.
Yeah.
I like the spring forward. I like the daylight savings. I like the extra light.
The extra light in the evening.
Yeah, but no, it gets lighter earlier. When we fall back, you think that it gets lighter later, but it's once the Earth goes on its axle. After a couple months, you'll start seeing when you wake up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, 7, it's still dark. But in the summertime, the sun is out because you can go run and do your exercises early without it being dark. So but I think that they're gonna stick with the springing forward, in my opinion.
Yeah, no doubt.
What's up with you, C? How was your day?
It was cool. It was busy. I did a lot running around with the youngin. They made it to the championships.
Congrats.
So the championships tomorrow.
Champ is here. You gotta play it.
Yeah, the champ is here. And so I'm excited about that. See what happened with that. But yeah, long day, tired. Yeah, it's just a lot to do.
Take naps.
I love naps, man. I love my naps. I could take, all I need is like I could take a quick nap and I'm good. I don't need to be sleeps long. I can't sleep too long, right? But get a little nap. Boom.
45 minutes. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, for sure.
I just hate those naps that you wake up more tired than you were before you went to sleep. The point of
that's a long nap.
That's when you sleep too long, right?
Yeah, that's when you hit the REM. What they got, REM sleep?
REM sleep. You slept too long.
Yeah.
Yes.
No doubt. All right, so let's jump right into. Let's jump. You ready? Good news and bad news.
Always ready.
Yeah, that's what they always say. Come on.
All right, I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you.
I know that's right. Well, give it to me early.
All right, you guys. So with the holidays fast approaching, many packages are being shipped from state to state. Did you guys know that 4 Philadelphia men have been federally charged with stealing about $1.6 million in merchandise from dozens of UPS warehouses? So if you ain't get your package from Amazon or whatever online service you ordered from, that's why. I'm joking, but not. The 4 men once got inside the warehouse, they would look for boxes that were labeled with lithium-ion battery warnings. This was an indication that the box contained expensive electronics like iPhones and electronic devices. So allegedly, the 4 men were stealing from January of 2021 to April of 2023. Again, that's $1.6 million in merchandise. The warehouses were in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Indiana, and Rhode Island. Did y'all already get y'all stuff? The four men, again, from Philadelphia, I don't want to butcher their names, but I'm going to try. It's Berjamina Karmakalu, 20, Saku Fafana, 20, Shamari Brown, 19, and Kwamir Brown, 19. If convicted, they face a maximum of 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine.
Ah, man, that's wild. Wow. Sheesh.
Yeah. So, and the thing is that it was an inside job.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, yeah. Unfortunately, and it's not even worth it at the end of the day, because you get caught. And then the crazy part is, did you hear what I said? What the span was? It was from January 2021 to April 2023. That means if you would have stopped, you probably would not have gotten caught.
Right.
You know, it's like the greedy dog. Like, why are you gonna keep going? You know, take your wins and keep it moving.
Yeah.
And
That's
create
what
a
always
movie.
happens.
Yeah.
Get greedy.
Yeah, create a movie with the iPads or phones that you stole or something. I don't know. All right. There are many questions that are arising from Philadelphia 76ers point guard. Did y'all hear about this?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kelly Oubre Jr., who's 27 years old, and he's the 76ers guard. He was hospitalized for a broken rib and lacerations and other injuries. According to police, Oubre said that he was struck by a hit-and-run driver in a silver car while walking alone. Now, I want y'all to really open your ears because it's going to be contradicting in this story. So he was walking alone when he was struck by this silver car. According to reports, based on where Oubre said he was located at Spruce and Hick Street, several cameras are in that area. And although the case is still under investigation, police have not recovered any photographic evidence of a hit and run. However, it was revealed that when he was going in the house, he basically had his bike. So when he was going back home, he appeared injured. It was like a video camera, let's just say like a Ring camera. Yeah. When he was returning home, he was pushing a bike. But when he made the call, he never told the police he was on a bike. He never even said that. So he was treated and discharged from a local hospital, and a spokesperson for the team released a statement saying Oubre Jr. continues to progress from his injuries and has resumed light physical activity with hopes of returning to play in the coming weeks.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. So, it's this, okay. So, it could be a few things. Like, it could have been his adrenaline, you know, that's going. You get hit, you're out of sorts. You call 911. This is what happened, right? He could have forgot that he was on. Well, not necessarily forgot. He just didn't mention it. Like, yo, I just was hit.
Right.
X, Y, and Z. I didn't hear like the police. You know how they had a recording.
Okay.
I didn't hear that. So I don't know how hysterical he was, but you know, if he was a little hysterical, some people.
I can see that. I can see that.
The other piece is it could be another Jesse Smollett.
I didn't say it. C did. Because I was just like, yo, how you going to get hit by a car in an area that is fully has a lot of, you know, security cameras and the police don't see it on there?
No.
Right.
Yeah. All right. But it could be a possibility that, you know, he could, hold on. So he's new, right? He's new to the area. Too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And so that's something else that we can give to him. He's new to the area.
He
don't know how wild jiggers are in Philly, right? Because you know we don't the way these jiggers drive, bruh.
I don't know.
So I'm sure he couldn't. You know, he probably got, and he was on a bike, right?
Okay. Here's the other thing.
All right.
He was hit in the rib with lacerations, but on the car he said it was just like the rear view mirror. That like they're saying it's almost like the lacerations what he got hit with doesn't equate to getting hit by a car. It's almost like this was.
Yeah, that's hard though, cause you know I was hit by a car before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was hit by a car a couple times when I was
Couple
younger.
times.
Yeah. I mean, and sometimes you don't realize how bad you're injured.
Again, the adrenaline.
Yeah, it's the adrenaline. I've been in fights. You know, not knowing how bad I was. I've been on a bike. You know, I fell off. I was a wild kid, right? You know, kids, you know, can fall, break their arm, run all the way home like nothing happened until your mom like, yo, why your arm pointing the other way?
The direction. Right.
And so that's what happens with your adrenaline. So I guess he can, you know. But I don't know. It's an interesting story. But even still, I mean, he's hurt, right? It's clear signs that he's hurt.
Yes, it definitely broken rib. Yes, he was definitely hurt. But the good thing is that he is getting better.
There you go.
And should be getting back to the team soon. So we wish him well.
We wish him well, and he better do great on his team.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
All right, so that was your good news and your bad news from Classy Lady Sparkle.
And that was your good news and bad news by Classy Lady Sparkle. And when we come back, we have a dynamic interview. We're going to talk a little bit about a historic group that, you know, when you talk about, you know, the epitome of music in the heyday of an era, we're going to talk a little bit about that. So I don't want you guys to go anywhere. All right, this your boy Charles Gregory with the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle
and the beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
We'll be right back after this, y'all. Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle
and the beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
So we had our guest on, and he may be having internet issues. You know, we all do, and so we're waiting for him to come back. But you know, you wanna? Why don't we go ahead and talk a little bit about everyone that's coming on today? And then we'll go there. Let's talk about. Why don't you just give an introduction?
All right, I'll give
There we go.
Yeah, and then we can, you know, do the foreplay, the warm up.
There we go. I like
Foreplay.
that.
Okay, we have the Spinners, who are one of the most iconic and enduring groups in R&B history, with a towering legacy spanning over 6 decades. That's 60 years, y'all. The Spinners have never lost their universal appeal. The group created and came to define the smooth sound of Philadelphia soul, channeling the highs and lows of romance and heartbreak in a catalog of classic hits beloved across generations. And we're going to talk to one of the, or I think we have 2. How many do we have today? Like, that are on here.
We got 2, y'all. We got 2. I see him in the back. He holding his hands too. That's what we got.
Okay. That's what we. Yeah, they're gonna have to bless us with some of
There we go.
that old sound. So let's, as always, y'all, let's give a warm We Talk Weekly welcome to the Spinners.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello. How are you? Can you hear me?
Welcome.
Yeah, we can hear you nice and clear. How are you, my friend?
Oh, great. So good to be here. Thanks for having me. My partner, another spinner, Ronnie Moss, he's going to be joining us shortly. He was having some technical issues, but Ronnie Moss is logging on right now, so he'll be joining us in this interview as well very, very shortly. But how y'all doing?
We're
Excited.
doing awesome.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's so nice that y'all have us on. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Very happy to be here. God is good.
And may I say, you fit right in because it's like you have a radio voice.
I know.
It just sounds amazing. It sounds
Thank
amazing.
you.
How are you feeling today?
I did 20 years of radio, some television, but mostly radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. My best friends are, besides my fiance, my best friends are a microphone and a camera. Lord, I ain't never seen one I didn't like. Yes,
Exactly.
yeah, we are performers. There's Ronnie. Hey, what's up, Ronnie Moss?
Hey, Ronnie.
Hey.
Looks like he's on. I told you, technical difficulties.
Yeah.
We're older guys. We're not computer savvy. We're not, we need our granddaughters to give me that, granddad, and they push buttons and they make stuff happen for us.
Yes, that's
So,
how you
we're
learn.
definitely old school. We old school cats aren't used to, just all the technology we have at our fingertips. So,
Yeah, yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, I think 2020 was like a breaking point where it's like you have to learn. It's like mandatory, like
Yeah,
this
it's like sink or
technology.
swim at this point. Yep, you better
Yes,
know.
absolutely.
I think that's a great transition since we were talking about how just the age and the generation, right? And
Hmm.
I think that's a great starting point in, you know, wondering, are you guys still having the same, I guess, audiences that are listening, and are you attracting newer generations as it relates to your dynamic? Because you guys were in the golden, I call it the golden era of music, right? I mean, you had to
Mhm.
you had to know instrumentation,
Yeah,
had to truly know how to sing, you had to know how
yeah,
to write music, you had to
yeah,
know how to perform, had to kind
yeah.
of be your own man. Like you had to do everything. You had to be the package, the one-on-one package. And
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
would like to know what first what is your audience like today, and then I want you to walk us through kind of like that road of the beginning or the origination of the group, and then being able to transition and have new members on a group, that whole conversation.
Hmm. Our fans today are not just they're not the same as the fans of old. Our fans today are the fans of old,
Ah.
but they've brought in with them their children and their grandchildren. Many times we take the stage and we see young people in the audience. I'm talking folks
Mhm.
in their 30s, in their 20s. I'm talking little kids sit in the front row with their arms folded because you can tell they made me come here, But by the second or third song, those kids are just up and they just can't believe it. Oh, this is another realm or another facet of entertainment, something that they don't see from their artists, the artists that they listen to, the artists that they watch perform. What the Spinners do is true and vintage entertainment. It's true choreography from the days of Charlie Atkins to this day now. The show is definitely the show, and you give your all from your appearance, to how you carry yourself on stage, the way you perform, the choreography, the whole nine. So the fans have only grown. So it's the fans that we had way back when, but again, they're bringing in the younger generations as well along with them, which makes us
Mhm.
feel pretty good to know that the kids are beginning to follow us as well. It's awesome.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Now
Yeah.
you mentioned some of like the founding fathers. Can you let us know who are like the original group members, or who's now the names of the group members that are
Wow.
now with the
Wow.
Spinners?
Okay. Well, most folks don't know the originals. I mean, guys like Chico, whatnot. They don't know the guys that were there before Henry went to the military or before the song "Heebie-Jeebies" or "That's What Girls Are Made Of." But the core original members that American by and large are familiar with are Henry Fambro, Bobby Smith, Henry Fambro, Bobby Smith, the legendary Purvis Jackson, Henry Bobby Purvis, uh, Henry Bobby Purvis. Shame on me, Billy, and who am I leaving out? Oh, because the name always changes. Most frequently with the lead singer Felipe Wynn, who's not an original, but sang on a lot of hits. A lot of the things that Felipe sang turned into hits. John Edwards, who
Mm.
came after Felipe, sang Cupid and Working My Way Back to You. Again, big hits.
Mm.
And before them, G.C. Cameron, who sang It's a Shame. Wow, the one big hit that came out of Motown Records as the Spinners were leaving Motown Records and making the transition to Atlantic Records. So G.C. Cameron was the lead singer on that hit song.
Mm.
So yeah, those are the lead singers. Those are the original members that we know, that we love, that we recognize, and shout out to Chico and the other anyone else who worked with the group prior to their commitment to be who we are today.
Wow.
Wow.
Mm.
Thank you for that. Oh my goodness. I know that one of your songs is one that I grew up listening to, isn't it? Could it be I'm falling in love?
Yeah.
Like that one right there. Oh my goodness. Now tell us, is this like when I did the intro, I said the smooth sound of Philadelphia soul. Educate the people on where this group was based out of and how you guys originated for the smooth sound of Philadelphia.
Okay, cool. Are you ready for it?
Absolutely.
All right, well, here it is. First of all, the correct term is Motown Philly. Motown
Mm-hmm.
Philly is the sound that was coined by and because of the Spinners. And where does that come from? Well, first of all, the Spinners were sitting and waiting in the wings for their chance to come out and do what the Temptations were doing, the Four Tops and Diana Ross and so forth. And Berry Gordy was focused pretty much on those guys, not so much the Spinners. Meanwhile, the Spinners were actually working for Motown. Purvis Jackson was working in the mailroom. Bobby Smith was one of the chauffeurs. In fact, he picked up the Jackson Five when they arrived in Detroit for their big meet with Berry Gordy. Henry Fambro, again, was a driver, I think, for Berry's mother. So the guys were actually working for Motown back then, picking things up, boxes, and putting them down, and so forth. And Barry's focus was elsewhere. And you'll even hear in his autobiography, if you read that, Berry Gordy himself said that his one regret is that he didn't spend more time with the Spinners. So,
Wow.
but anyway, back to that phrase. The contract was running out. Spinners were tired of sitting on the shelf. Stevie Wonder complained because he wrote a song for the Spinners that was sitting on the shelf for over a year, maybe 2 years. Well, Stevie Wonder at that time, he was the golden child. So if he complained, then we better get to moving. So because of Stevie, they pushed out a song by the Spinners called It's a Shame. At the same time, Aretha Franklin called the Spinners, like, honey, y'all need to come here, blah, blah, blah. They treat you well. So the Spinners were making their departure from Motown to Atlantic Records as It's a Shame was becoming a hit on the radio. And in fact, Berry Gordy was in his office. He tells the tale of sitting in his office and saying, oh, we have another hit on the radio. What is that song? And they said, It's a Shame. And he said, who is that? And he said, it's the Spinners. He said, okay, get him in here. And they said, you're too late. They're gone. So
Wow. Did
they
you
left
hear the names he was dropping?
Yeah, I know. Like it's
I'm
nothing
just
here.
like, what?
Legends.
I know,
Legendary.
right? It took a while for me to get used to having conversations and saying such names, not being an original member. In fact, 16 years now, I have been a member of the Spinners. I was brought in, Bobby and Henry, two original Spinners. And to this day, it's still overwhelming. To this day, there's still moments that I feel unworthy. It's just, this is a huge responsibility. It's a huge undertaking. You've got to stand up to this, and you got to be this, 24/7. You have to totally honor and respect this, and outside of loving and taking care of your family and your spirituality, it pretty much becomes your life.
So let's talk a little bit about that then. Because you said you've been 16 years. It's been 16 years for you.
Yeah, about 16 years now.
About 16 years, and so let's talk about that transition. When where were you when you got the call or the introduction to say, hey, this is a possibility for you to be a part of this historic group, this member of Dynamic Singers? What was that call like?
You have time for that? Okay. I'm a bit of a ham, let me first say, before I get into this story. So
Right.
if I get too corny, just let me know, because corny is what I do.
No
I'm a
doubt.
cornographer. If you were to break into my house, you find a bunch of cornographic material.
I gotta use
I like
that.
that. I like that.
I'm corny, man. I'm so corny. All right. Anyway, all right. I have been out of the business for a while. I've been out of show business for a little bit. It was up Ronnie Moss. He's back with us. And I was looking for a means to get back in. Trying traffic reports and whatever else, this, that, and the other. Nothing was going my way, and nothing will except for fate, except for your destiny. The thing that you think will be the easiest will become the hardest if it's not your fate, if it's not where you should be. I found out from a buddy of mine that Purvis Jackson had passed away, the legendary Purvis Jackson. And it was like, wow, and that was devastating to hear. He being a bass, me being a wannabe bass, singer. And got a call later on. He said, hey, you know what? I'm going to see if we can get you an audition with the Spinners. And I thought, okay. I didn't get excited or jump up and down because we had talked at that point about several things or ways or means of me getting back into the entertainment business. And so, okay, this was one more thing. Sounded pretty far-fetched. Yeah, Jesse Peck, the Spinners, whatever. But okay, I wrote it down, reached out to management, did the audition. And Purvis got ill. He'd been ill for a little bit, but he passed away in August of 2008, early August. I auditioned later that month. And it wasn't until November that they actually made their decision, Bobby and Henry, the original Spinners. At that original interview in August, that original audition, I asked Henry, how long do you think it'll be? He said, oh, we need to move quickly on this. It'll probably be a couple of weeks. I thought, okay, super. Look forward to hearing from you. 2 weeks went by, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and I call every so often, I don't want to bug him. I don't want to, ruin my chances because he realizes I'm a pest, but, I'm calling, don't forget me, and one of my last calls, it was like, well, no, we've got guys coming out of the woodwork right now, so it's going to take a little bit longer, but I'll let you know. And basically it sounded like he was saying, if you call again, it won't be you, So I left it alone, and I just decided to have faith. I was working at a factory at that time. And the first month I was excited, because I knew that this was something that was to be. I knew that this is what God had for me. I went out with total faith. This is going to be smooth and easy. This is my blessing, and I receive it. The second month, when it didn't happen, because it wasn't supposed to take 2 months, I was worried. I was distraught. I was concerned. And I was going out on my lunch breaks, in fact, I was going out at night to that tree and standing there and crying, and God, you gave me these talents, why, and blah, 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 and then I realized by the third month, what, you're acting like that child whose parent tells you, I'm going to take you here. I'm going to take you to Wally World or McDonald's or Disney, whatever the thing is. We're on our way. You're in the car and you're on your way there. And there are movies about kids who all the way there keep saying, are we there yet? And so you can drive just as you here in the physical realm can drive your mother, your father crazy. In the spiritual realm, I hope I wasn't driving my father crazy, but it was driving me crazy. And then I realized my behavior and what I was doing. I was having no faith. If I'm worried, if I'm stressed, then that means I'm not believing in God. I'm not believing that this is my fate. This is my destiny. I'm believing that all my experience, all my talent, this, and not just that, because there are lots of talented bass singers that audition for the Spinners, but with what was placed in my heart, this yearning and this burning desire that I had, no man feels the way I feel about being a part of this group. No man could possibly want this as much as I do, so why am I, And when I realized how silly I was acting, when I realized I wasn't acting like a man of faith, I said, you know what, God, I apologize. I'm gonna step out. I'm a man of faith, and it's a done deal. If you said it, there's nothing for me to be concerned about. So when I did that, then my faith was tested. I lost the job. Wow. It's the holiday time. It's November now. Thanksgiving's coming up. Christmas right around the corner. No job. No income. Yeah, the stage is set for me to just act a fool. Just whatever happens to a brother when all hope is lost. And I maintained my faith. And I remember I was playing in one of the big master bedroom of a house with my daughter, my wife at the time, and my stepdaughter, joking around, laughing, just having fun. Because I made the commitment I was going to have faith in God and believe in Him no matter what. And that's when the phone rang. Usually when my phone rings, I'm because I'm hoping that it's Henry, Famber, or Bobby Smith. But this time, I just calmly looked at it. And when I looked at my family, they knew who. They said, answer it. I answered the phone. And basically, they gave me the news. I hope I'm not taking too long. They gave me the news that, okay, Henry, they said, basically, congratulations. You're one of us now. You are now officially, you're one of the Spinners. I need you to meet with me tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. I got to get you measured, this, that, and the other. Wow. I was very professional. Thank you very much. Sorry.
When you hung that phone up,
when I hung that phone up, first of all, family sitting there waiting like, what they did, when I hung that phone up, that's funny. All I could do was just collapse. I fell to the floor. And I said, hallelujah, I don't know, probably close to 100 times, and they knew, and they were jumping around me and all that. And that same joy, that same happiness I felt then, I feel to this day. There's something about living your dreams. There's something about seeing your dreams fulfilled. There's something about about living up to your potential. There is something about being a part of something so iconic. You've heard people say phrases like, well, you know, being a part of something that's bigger than you. Well, it's one thing to say it. It's one thing to see it in a movie, but it's another to now say, Jesse Peck, I'm a part of something much bigger than I am, you know, and it's because of God. It's a blessing that I'm able to do that. So 16 years later, I don't take being a spinner for granted. 16 years later, I still honor my position. 16 years later, I still remember the principles that Henry and Bobby set forth and showed me as members of the group. I wish I could have met Bobby Smith. I mean, I wish I could have met Billy. Right. I wish I could have met Purvis Jackson. But I did research Purvis while I was waiting to find out if I'd sing his parts, and I found out Purvis was a wonderful human being. Purvis Jackson, Mr. 1245, the former bass singer of the Spinner, the original bass singer, he was truly the kind of person who would give you the shirt off of his back. I know that's right. You know, and I'm gonna say something I probably shouldn't say. When Purvis Jackson died, I bet you there were at least a dozen folk out there more that owed that man some money. Wow. He was that kind of brother. He would do anything for anyone, kind of loving heart. He was extremely funny. He was one of the funniest guys on the road. And I've heard so many stories about him. So, you know, I knew before I got in the group, bruh, you ain't gonna never be Purvis Jackson.
I got a question.
But I could be the best Jesse Peck I could possibly be.
No doubt. Absolutely. No doubt. My question is that we were talking about Five Heartbeats, the movie. Who do you think the Five Heartbeats emulated?
For different people, different things. For me, it emulated the struggle that groups go through. It emulated the struggle. It emulated the thing that it takes for them to be together, and that's that common dream. They were all different individuals, but they all had that common dream, you know, of making it, and a belief in one another that they can do so. They had a brotherhood that they shared. You know, there are a lot of cliques. I'm not into cliques. I was a nerd in school. Well, I was popular through talent shows and whatnot, but other than that, besides talent shows and PA announcements and all that, I was a nerd, and I didn't believe in following trends and all that. You know, I did what I wanted to do because you're gonna laugh at me anyway. You're gonna love me or laugh at me, but I gotta be true to me. But I want to make sure I answer this question. Ask me that question again.
Do you think it was a group specifically that they were trying to make the Five Heartbeats from?
Okay, I'm gonna get into that because I know where you're going. But one of the things, I'm gonna say this real quick first. One of the things that they emulated that you won't experience, most folks will never get to experience, is the sense of brotherhood. That one scene where Dresser, I won't blow up for anyone who hasn't seen the movie, but shame on you if you haven't, where Dresser had that major family issue, and possibly he would leave the group or whatever, and the brothers all let him know that, no, we're going to stand together on this. And one man stuck his hand out, and another brother put his hand out, and another brother on top of that, and Dresser's hand, and they all came together and just had that moment and cried. That's, man. But anyway, to get where you're going, as I understand, for that movie, The Five Heartbeats, the original group that was approached to do the voices on that soundtrack was the Spinners.
Wow.
Yeah. Now that was before I got in the group, so that's what I heard, y'all. That's what I heard.
I heard that too.
Yeah. I wish I had been in the group back then, because then I'd have been like, "Bob, please, can we do this?" You know. If I had been in the group back then, then the Spinners would have been the group that did the backing vocals for the Five Heartbeats, because Bobby and Henry wouldn't have got no sleep. I'd have been calling them 2, 3 in the morning. Fire me or let's do this movie. One or the other. But I wish but we've done a lot of great things. The Spinners our music's been in lots of movies. Spaceball, Bill Murray, Stripes, the wrestling scene with John Candy. Even most recently, well, besides Kinko's or Staples commercials, they play Rubber Band Man. In the Avengers movie, where the Guardians of the Galaxy are coming in on the spaceship, the guy that's always playing the Walkman headphones, this time he's blasting the music in the ship. So imagine my delight he's in the ship blasting a Spinner song, and all the superheroes are on the ship singing Rubber Band Man.
Wow.
Come on. I'm watching superheroes and they singing Rubber Band Man. Come on.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
so yeah, our songs have been used quite a bit in movies, and the Spinners have made more television appearances than any group in the history of R&B for sure. But I want to say music period. From the Bobby Vinton Show, Laverne and Shirley, the Midnight Special, Soul Train. They loved us at American Bandstand, on and on and on. The Spinners were. I'm pretty sure. I want to say the Spinners have done more television appearances from back in that time than any other group. It would be hard to find a group that did more.
I have a question for you, because when we start talking about, because that makes me interested in how the energy was back then, right? Because when you look at the Five Heartbeats, you see a lot of competition, right, between the other major groups back then. And I mean, you're talking about, the Four Tops, you're talking about, the Spinners, and all of those dynamic bands back then. Was it truly that competitive in terms of male groups back then?
You know what? It's still that competitive to this day.
Oh wow.
But from my perspective, from what I get to see, it's usually from a warm and loving and somewhat respectful perspective. There are some groups, man. I guess I got to keep it real.
That's right. We talk weekly.
All right. Well, there are some groups that. First of all, we're hard to follow. Let me say that. Okay, we're hard. Our choreography was done by the legendary Charlie Atkins. Okay, and we still hold true to that to this day. We still do every move, every spin, every twirl, every jump, every kick. Now you've got these guys there. Yours truly included. I'm doing splits. I'm doing high kicks. I'm on the floor doing leg spins. Our show is, even as phenomenal as the show was then, there were certain guidelines, that were followed. Where nowadays, when you've got groups or guys that go on stage with, t-shirts and blue jeans and saggy pants and gym shoes, twirling a towel, and if you got folks walking away saying that was a great show. So imagine the cats like us now who see that we can loosen up a little bit, and we do it in a way that's, we do it differently. I'll say so. Our show is hot, is full of energy, and if you're coming on after us, if we're opening up, I don't care if we're doing 45 minutes, 75 minutes, if we're only doing 30. If you're coming on after us, your show better be tight. Your show better be energetic. You better be able to captivate your audience, because the Spinners, our crowd, when we perform, they're on their feet, they're dancing in the aisles, that they're having a glorious time when we perform, and so are we. We're loving what we do. We have an exchange with our audience. We give them our sweat, we give them our energy, we give them the music that they've known and loved for decades, and they give us back the love and appreciation, and it's an endless circle. And we just have these explosions that go on throughout the entire show. It's amazing. So a lot of groups who don't want to work that hard.
I had to pull it up.
And speaking of uniforms, you guys donated the uniforms and shoes to the Motown Museum. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, we did. That was an awesome experience. I was born in New York. I was raised in Detroit. So I had been to the Motown Museum quite a few times. I've been to the Motown Museum when it was still just the old Motown studio, before it was a museum. I remember, I remember going there and seeing the dust, still on the mics, and being in the studios and whatnot, and being a part of all of that. And to see it now, to see, what it's become, it's amazing. And I'm glad that it's growing, because it should. But to be honored with Henry Fambro, of course, original Spinner, was there. John Edwards was in the city, but for well, he was unable to make it to the actual ceremony. With GC Cameron, I was there, whom I had never met. Now, we had done an episode of Unsung on TV1 with John Edwards, and that was wonderful. We did that over a decade ago. But now GC Cameron at the Motown Museum, and it was an incredible experience. GC was a very nice man. He seemed very wise. All of the wisdom that you would expect to come from his years of performing and his experience from the Motown era, it was there. And I had time here and there to pick his brain a little bit and get little snippets from him, and he was quite insightful. He was very kind, and he was more than willing to just be helpful and make sure I'm heading in the right direction, or give me whatever advice he felt responsible for giving to me at times. So at that time, very, very gracious man, and it was a wonderful experience. And I want to say thank you to the folks over at the Motown Museum for having us. You all treated us so graciously.
Fantastic.
And
Nice.
look forward to coming back again. We hope that you'll find an excuse for us to come and join you once again. It was beautiful. Thank you.
So I'm curious, as we look through, these archives right here, and then this was Rubber Band Man, does it affect you? How does it feel to know that you guys were like the premier group, back then? I mean, you can look at this and see how dynamic you are, how dynamic, the group was, and people from across the world still sing this music. You mentioned, Rubber Band Man, that, this was a Hollywood movie that people are listening to, this music. How does it feel even watching this video right here and seeing the nostalgia? And, this is amazing stuff.
I used to look at those videos every day, all day. But I've been in the group long enough now. It's more like every other day. That's because I memorized most of these videos. But I still can't. It's still surreal.
Right.
Yeah.
It's still surreal. It still feels. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I don't know if y'all gonna believe this. Every night, not every night, but 85% of the time when I go to sleep at night, I dream about the Spinners. I dream about us on the road. I dream about us being on stage, or it's just before the show, or it's just after. It's some kind of situation revolving around us. The Spinners are. That sounds crazy, but I dream about the job that I actually perform almost every night, and for 16 years now.
Nice.
Wow.
It's a beautiful
I
thing.
can't, and I guess it's because I just, my mind can't take, or still hasn't been able to quite absorb the enormity
Right.
of this. Y'all don't understand. When I was a kid, first concert I ever saw was a Spinner concert.
Right.
My parents took us to the state fair, and we rolled the rides and all that kind of stuff. Me and my brother and sister, we had a great time. And now it's close to the evening, and they're dragging us to the concert area. Well, you told me I could ride the bumper cars again. I ain't, if we got to sit,
Yeah.
And the Spinners, who is, okay, all right, whatever, So I remember sitting there, and when the music started, I was like, oh, okay, I know. Oh, okay, I know this from. Oh, this is who they are. And by the time Purvis, I was loving Billy, because I mean, as a kid, we I don't know, we attract ourselves to the cute character, the Elmo or whatever. So in the Spinners, it was Billy. Billy was the short, chubby guy, and even though he was chubby, he was still moving and grooving. Like everybody with just as much energy. Billy Henderson was nice, and he was smooth. And it was right when Purvis Jackson in Games People Play, when Purvis Jackson said 12:45, and the crowd went nuts. And I looked at my parents. I said, Mom and Dad, that's what I want to do when I grow up. Did you hear me? I said, Mom and Dad, that's what I want to do when I grow up. So, I mean, out of the mouth of babes.
Yes.
Okay? I had no idea. I couldn't fathom as a kid, okay, as a kid, seeing his first concert that I could make a statement and that I would be with that same entity as an adult. There's no way. So for more than 12 reasons, I am still overwhelmed. This still feels surreal and above and beyond anything else. And I know you got to be, no, you're supposed to be politically correct and all that in these days, and you can say certain things, but you can cut this interview if you need to. But
No,
for me, by and large, what has happened to me in my life, and this is one of the incredible things that's happened to me in my life that's reinforced my commitment and my belief in God, my belief in blessing, my belief that dreams come true, my belief that as a man thinketh, so is he. My belief in the scripture where it says, as a man speak, the power of life and death are in the tongue. All of these things are true. All of you dreamers who are already successful, you know what I'm talking about. Those of you who are in the midst of your dreams, who have already begun taking your steps in the early steps, or if you're halfway through and you're still in that struggle, you're hearing what I'm saying, and it's encouraging to you because you felt these words in the beginning, but now you pushing this stuff uphill, and from time to time you're having second thoughts and you're wondering. But trust me, take it from a brother, and for me it came late in life. Your greatest dreams, your greatest desires, the things that you want, we move towards our current most dominant thoughts. Our current most dominant thoughts. So what you think about, what you focus on, that's what you move towards. But you've got to put some effort into it yourself. So, but it's possible for a guy later in life to join an iconic group that inspired and he admired since childhood and had no idea he'd be a part of. It's possible for you to achieve your dreams and to start that business and to grow and to prosper and to flourish. It's possible that We Talk Weekly will now become the biggest show on the face of planet Earth. It's now, it was local, then nationwide, now it's worldwide. We FM 96.5. Make sure you tune in. You know, anything is possible, and it's all about how much you believe. We're all going to get knocked down. We're all going to be pushed down. We're going to be laughed at and ridiculed. But I'm telling you, at that moment when all seems lost, and I'm talking to you, black man, I'm talking to you, black woman, sitting here interviewing me right now, especially you young people, at that moment, because I want to see y'all achieve. You too, black, you too, sister. I want to see at that moment when you feel like all is lost, when the people who stood beside you have turned their back on you, when the folks you depended on are nowhere to be found, when there's nothing left but you. It's not just you, it's you and God. And the stage has to be set so that you'll know it's just him. You have to know it. So you can't give the credit to so-and-so. And thank God I was a kid, and girl, yeah, you know, you can't give the credit to nobody else but him. And in order for you to get to that point, all you have to do is, my Uncle Lee, we always told him, you got to persevere. You got to persevere like an SOB. And you got to have the faith of at least a mustard seed.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I was looking at, earlier when I was pulling up some of the videos, I seen New Edition, and they actually gave you guys a tribute, right? And that was them. You pull up the spinners, they pop up, right? And they pop up because of the tribute. How does that feel to have, new kind of energy paying homage to you guys? Because one of the conversations that has been happening has always been, newer groups are not giving homage to groups like yourself or groups that precedes them. And so how does that feel to have a group like New Edition and, the newer generation kind of redoing your music? You have T.I., believe it or not, using the name Rubber Band Man and creating energy based around that. How does that feel?
Well, if New Edition were a newer group, I would feel, I don't know how they would have to be a newer group for me to tell you how I feel about that. New Edition is not a newer group. New Edition, though they're not the Spinners, they're not the Temptations, they're not the Four Tops, they're not the Tramps. The Temptations, the New Edition is an iconic group from pretty much my era. I grew up singing, y'all know the major hits, but I grew up singing Candy Girl and fellas, there's a jealous girl in our town, and is this the end? You don't hear that on the radio, but if you was a New Edition fan, is this the end when that comes on? So the same. No, it's not. It's not the same as when other artists get their Lifetime Achievement Award or what have you, and Beyonce or someone grand sings their songs as they sit there. For us, it's different because it's not my voice on those shit. Now we've got some new material out. We've got a new album out now. Spinners, Round the Block and Back Again. Get yours today wherever music and CDs are sold. And Henry's on there too. Original Spinners singing with us, but to see New Edition doing those songs again, it just reiterates what we're a part of and how huge it is. So even my boys from back in the day, they singing this, it just points to the enormity of what this is. It does. It just makes it more amazing. And again, it throws me back in that surreal state. I can't get used to this, man. It's too big. This is a huge blessing. It really is.
You said you have new music out?
Yes, we do.
Wow, because I think that the records, working my way back to you, like it's so timeless and it's so many that you can, it has 100 more years of life on it.
And it does. And because we have new, doesn't mean the old is going anywhere, But there's an experimental album that we did during the COVID season. It's called Round the Block and Back Again. And you can check it out, Amazon and wherever else, you can buy CDs. Even on YouTube, you can pull up different songs. One of the songs, I love all the songs on this album. It was produced by Preston Glass. Who's Preston Glass? Preston Glass was the, I guess, protege, or if you will, or he was mentored by Tom Bell, who did the original Spinners hits back in the day. So this is the closest we could get to that original Spinner sound, was to go through Mr. Glass. So, and there's one song on there, I love them all, but there's a song in there called, Henry Fambro sings this song. It's written by a music director. It's called I'm Looking for My Baby. And Henry sings the lead on this song, Henry Fambro, and it's just so haunting to me. He kind of comes off with this like Isaac Hayes type vibe on this song, and you just have to hear it for yourself. Listen to the whole album, Spinners, Round the Block and Back Again. But make sure you definitely check out Henry Fambro and I'm Looking for My Baby. And when he's talking about looking for it, oh my God, he does a great job on that. But we have even more music with all of us. Us meaning including Henry as well, that we're working on and getting remixed at this moment as we speak, and we're hoping to release that very, very soon. We don't have a date in mind as of now, but we can tell you we're looking on doing it very, very soon.
Yeah, I just wanted to say to you that everything that you've said has been truly inspirational, and I'm someone that's like really huge on living your dreams. And one thing I always told my son is that God is the giver of dreams, and dreams are meant to be lived, not just dreamt.
Yes.
So what's the legacy that you want to leave behind?
I think the legacy has already been left. Well, no, you asked me the legacy I want to leave behind.
Jesse, 1 second. I want you to hold that thought 1 second, because we got to do an ID. We went past the hour, on the top of the hour. This is We Talk Weeklies After the Talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk. Now, after you, my brother.
All right. The legacy I would leave behind is the new Spinner music that we'll be releasing going forward. And not just the music, but the message that will go along with that music. The message continues to be a message of love for your fellow man, for man love and respect for your woman, and for belief in oneself. For me, I want to leave behind a way and a belief and a strength that others like me, or for some crazy reason may want to be like whatever they think I am, that they realize that the power exists in them. I just want to leave behind the realization that we all can, not we all can, but we're all supposed to succeed. Don't get me wrong. Don't take it in a negative way or in a hurtful way, but take it as a wake up. If you're not where you want to be in life, besides somebody deliberately pushing and holding or whatever you want to say down, there's a good chance that's because of you not pushing yourself to where you should be or not living up to your potential. And only you know that, and you got to own that. And wherever you are in life, it's not too late. I didn't become a spinner until much later in life. I did other things as an entertainer. I did everything as an entertainer except stand-up comedy. But yeah, it's you just always have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe, no one else will. You have to believe when they're laughing, when they're putting you out, when you don't fit into the clique. You got to. In fact, when you don't fit into the clique, you're probably on the right path.
I know that's right. We are saying you
I
stand
have
out
never
from the
fit
crowd.
into any clique. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the famous spinners, man. I just want to thank you for coming to the show. But before I let you leave, you have to tell everyone like your latest projects, how they can get in contact, how they can get some tickets, and you got to bring We Talk Weekly to one of those shows, man.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. All right, now let me see. I'll talk to you about our schedule. We're pretty much off for the year. We have a few shows coming up. Can you all see me?
No, you went out on us.
Okay, all right. I was trying to pull up the schedule, so I'll look at it at the same time and talking to you. Yeah, but we'll get back out of
something December 22nd.
December 22nd. We have a performance. Let's see. I'm looking forward to December 22nd, and that is because
that's in Atlanta.
Yes, indeed. And it's been, you know what? We haven't done Atlanta. I can't tell you the last time, and we don't do Atlanta enough. So we're very excited about doing the Atlanta show. One of the spinners lives in Atlanta, Ronnie Moss. So, in fact, he's been jumping up and down. When are we going to do an Atlanta show? You know, I make fun of him, but that's not how he really talks. But well, kind of like that. But yeah, so he's excited. I'm excited. I got friends and family and folk that are in the ATL. So that's exciting for us. So looking forward to that performance. And anyone who doesn't have your tickets, y'all, I'm telling you, do not wait. Make sure you get your tickets in advance. I mean, if you want to sit where you want to sit and be able to, you know, whatever, then that's cool. But if you wait and you don't mind being in the balcony or back, that's cool too. It's all good. But our shows tend to sell out. So we don't want our real fans. In fact, our real fans just get the tickets as soon as they can. Folks that love us. But yeah, I just feel bad for the people that can't get in when they want to get tickets. So don't be that person. Pick up the phone. Go to the internet. Go now online and get your tickets to see the Spinners live December 22nd in Atlanta. It's your chance to have a night that you won't forget. Don't forget to say I told you. I'm Jesse Peck.
Wow. Awesome.
Thank you.
Yay.
Corny.
No, I love it.
All right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, man. It was an absolute pleasure, Mr. Jesse Peck. One thing that we say on the show is once you come to the show, you're a friend of the show, so you're always welcome to come back, my brother, and we would love to have you back to talk a little bit more about, you know, just things that you guys are doing and just kind of keep us up to date.
And the other spinner that wasn't able to get on, he kept.
Yeah, my man Ronnie. What happened to Ronnie? I saw him on here and then he went away. What happened?
Yeah, I think he had technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Okay. All
So
right.
you're more than welcome to come back so we can have Ronnie on also and maybe even come to one of those shows and film from the show.
Now, what city exactly are you guys in?
Philly.
Okay. All right.
We're in Philadelphia.
So you got to come to Philly.
You got to come to Philly.
Yeah.
Well, we were just in Philly not too long ago, but we'll be back again.
Okay.
At Philly, we get much love. I'm surprised y'all didn't know we were in Philly when we were just there about a month or so. Oh, my God.
I heard about it afterwards. I'm so mad because a couple of my friends went and they were rubbing it in my face that they.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. Well, for the next time, when we come back, I want y'all to stay in touch with me. One of you, let's reach out, do the phone number thing or whatever, and the three of you will be on the Spinner's guest list when we come back to Philly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But if we put you on the guest list, thank you.
Absolutely.
But if we put you on the guest list, y'all got to come backstage and hang out with us too.
We definitely do that. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, cool. So bring your camera phones. We'll take pics and all that good stuff.
Spoiled.
Right.
I know that's right. You got to come back. Maybe do the Give Back Festival in the summer, you know, in Nicetown. Nicetown does a huge, you know, big festival, and maybe that would be a good thing to come back. But let us know because we're coming through. We
All
Talk
right.
Weekly. We appreciate you. We appreciate you so much. And like I said, one thing we always say on the show, once you come to the show, you're a friend to the show, so you're always welcome to come back, my friend. We'll make sure that you get all our contact so you can stay in contact with us. Yeah.
Sounds good. I want to do some drops for you guys too.
Oh, please do. Let's do
Yes.
it. Go ahead and do a drop. Let me make you. There you go.
All right. It's WPPM 105.9, right? What is it?
106.5. We Talk Weekly. 106.5. Yep.
Okay. You're jamming to We Talk Weekly 106.5. If you're not listening, you're missing out. 106.5.
Awesome. We're going to put you on speed dial every time.
Love it.
Cool.
We love it. We love it. We love it.
Yes.
Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want you to go anywhere because when we come back, we have, a dynamic interview. I can't wait to speak to this sister because she has something going down. When we talk entrepreneurs, when we talk about people who's really doing things in the community, this sister got it going on. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Mr. Jesse Peck, I appreciate you, my brother.
Man, I love y'all. Thanks for letting me have fun with y'all. Take it easy.
No doubt, no doubt. We'll be right back, y'all. Holla.
Right on.
Hey, this is Roxanne Shante, and your week cannot be complete unless you listen to or watch We Talk Weekly. Please believe it, baby.
What's going on, you guys? This is Bridget Kelly, and you are locked into We Talk Weekly.
And we're back. We Talk Weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and a beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
and a beautiful.
Leslie Sparkle.
And we have someone coming up next. Sizzle, who do we have today?
So we have Dr. Ankrehah Trimble Johnson, aka Dr. Cree. I hope I'm saying that correctly. She is a board certified family medicine physician, international public speaker, life coach, wife, and mother. She is in the 2020 class of the Birmingham Business Journal's Top 40 Under 40. That was a mouthful. But she has earned the title of B Metro Magazine Top Doctors in Medicine, B Metro Magazine Top Women in Medicine, and trademark Women of Distinction honors for her dedication to answering questions about common medical conditions and bring awareness to the importance of healthy lifestyles. So Dr. Johnson is the sole owner of Brownstone Healthcare and Aesthetics. Dr. Cree also is the medical director of the City of Birmingham's Employee Health Clinic, Brownstone Be Well Birmingham. She resides in Trussville, Alabama with her husband and daughter. Dr. Cree is the founder of 320 Girls, Inc., a nonprofit focused on helping girls and women interested in STEM-based careers, medicine, and entrepreneurship. She earned her doctorate of osteopathic medicine from Kansas City University of Medicine and Biosciences and completed her residency at St. Vincent's East Hospital in Birmingham, Alabama. So let's give a warm welcome to Dr. Cree.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, where does she find the time? I mean, do you sleep?
Yes, very little, but I'm getting it in. Thank you. Thank y'all for having me.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you feeling?
I am doing fine. I've been mommying all day today, so I am ready to answer your questions so I can have some wine and kick my feet back.
So tell us a little bit about how you got started, especially in medicine. Like, was that something that you always wanted to do?
So my mom tells a story that at the age of about 4 or 5, I started saying that I wanted to become a doctor. We were from a very small town in Alabama called Marion, Alabama. And Andrew Young's wife is from there. Coretta Scott King is from there. My mama is from there, and me. So Marion makes amazing women, right? So I was from Marion, and it was very small, very rural. So we didn't have many hospitals or doctors. My grandfather got sick when I was about 7, so we came to Birmingham, which is an hour and a half commute. And going to the hospital with him, the hospital, even as a little girl, just felt like home. And so from that moment on, I knew that I wanted to become a doctor, and I did all that I could to get in the seat and be in the place. I graduated from Spelman College in Atlanta. I did a program
Wow.
after. Yes. Oh, let me
Yes.
take my bow. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes, I graduated from Spelman, did a program after that, and then got into medicine, into medical school, and then came back to Alabama to give back to my community.
That's awesome. And you've done all of that and then managed to be in the Birmingham Business Journal's top 40 under 40, which means you've done everything before
Lots of
you
things,
yeah,
yes.
before you made it to 40. So how does that feel? That's a huge
It feels
accomplishment.
it's a big accomplishment, but like the old people say, to whom much is given, much is
Much is
required.
required.
So
Absolutely.
that's why I have a nonprofit. That's why I'm trying to give back and do all the things to help other young women who are interested in medicine and who may have been told that they can't do it, they shouldn't do it. So I want to be the example to say, girl, yes, you can. You may have to do a little extra, but you can do it.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Fantastic,
Wow.
fantastic. For me, it's a lot of history, right? Especially when you talk about Birmingham.
Hmm.
You know, what is the energy like in Birmingham as it relates to people who look like us? Because we dominate that infrastructure of what that town that city. It's a city, right? It's a city, and
Hmm.
so
It's a
we,
city.
yeah, and what is that energy like if someone was to come and visit? How is it there? How is the love there for people who look like us?
So for people that look like us, it is an amazing energy. We have a mayor, a young mayor, that actually a young African American mayor who's the youngest mayor that has hold this seat. His name is Mayor Randall Woodfin, and with him has brought all this new energy in, right? All this amazing energy. Drake is coming to Birmingham. So when has Drake ever been to Birmingham? So we're doing all these things. Birmingham is also a new and up and coming place for tech entrepreneurs. So African American women, small business owners, lots of people are transplanting to Birmingham. But I think that it's because we have a young mayor who loves all people. Everybody loves him. He's into his second term. So Birmingham, a lot of people think that it's a small town or it's still a lot of racism. It really is not. It has been a pleasure to live in Birmingham for the last 11 years. I've been here for 11 years, and it has been amazing because there's lots of opportunity. There is just a melting pot and a place for African Americans to grow. So when y'all come to town, come holler at me, and I'll show you
All
around.
right.
We only need one invitation and we're there, right?
Exactly.
So let's talk about this Brownstone, the sole owner. Please talk to us about it, because one thing, when it comes to We Talk Weekly, we often talk and engage, especially the kids in STEAM. Right, we love the
Hmm.
idea of STEM, that you're, focused upon that, especially as it relates to the youth and kids. And but I want to talk about you being an owner of the Brownstone brand and what that's like for you, and what made you create something like that. Yeah.
So I wanted to create brownstones. So the name came from in New York. There were always these brownstones, and it was the pillar of the community. It was the place where African Americans, if they got them a brownstone, they felt like they had arrived, and it was home. So we wanted to bring that same feeling from New York, from Harlem to Birmingham. And in the beginning, I had a co-founder, and we were two brown girls, and it just made sense that Brownstone was the name that we coined. She's since moved on, and I've continued into private practice, and I've been the sole owner since after maybe the third year of Brownstone. I wanted to be in business for myself because I really don't like to be told what to do. I don't like to be squared off. You heard my bio. I'm into a little bit of
Yes.
everything. And I say I got two rules. I don't work for anybody, and I only listen to Jesus and Jay. My husband is named Jay, and I negotiate with Jay, but I don't negotiate with Jesus. So that's why I went
I
into
love that.
okay, that's why I went into business for myself because I can make the rules. I can pivot. When the pandemic came, I left traditional medicine as it was, like the fee for service. You show up with your copayment. And I was like, there has to be a little bit more than seeing 35, 40 people a day. The rat race of it and being in the room 10 minutes. And I heard of this way of medicine called direct primary care. So we charge about $70 a month. They can get direct access to me. They can text me directly if they need something. So it seemed like a good program for people that are underinsured, people that are underinsured, or even people that are insured that want to have their direct access to the doctor. Well, it was a blessing because I downsized my clinic during the pandemic, not knowing that the pandemic was just about to start. So I didn't have people to lay off. I didn't have to worry about all of that because I had a smaller practice. But I was able to spend the time. I was able to be there for my family, and I was able to, our kids weren't in school, so I turned the exam room into a classroom so my daughter could come every day. So being in private practice affords me the opportunity to have the flexibility that I may not have had if I was working for someone else, having to go by their rules, and I can pivot whenever I feel like it. And that's the
Yeah.
beauty of being in private practice.
Yeah.
Nice.
You're part of a historic college, that has been in the news lately from Zahara Jolie and, Angelina Jolie. Daughter just became a proud member of
What was that,
Alpha
AKA?
Kappa Alpha. Yeah,
She's
Sorority Incorporated.
AKA, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Yes.
you being a part of, such a dynamic, historic college, and just the movement that you have been doing, what is the legacy that you would like to leave? You are blackness, you are,
Hmm.
black excellence, that is the epitome of you and the things that you're doing. Because even in, the profession that you're in, it's not a lot of people who look like you. And
Correct.
so that struggle right there alone, how does that feel?
So I think that it's a very heavy weight in that a lot of people are either one waiting for you to fail or two waiting to follow behind you. So you have to have this way about yourself that means if I'm saying it, I got to be living it. So if it
Right.
comes out of my mouth, I have to be doing it. So I am always living such that there's a little girl that's watching me. There's a little boy that's watching me. There's somebody that's black, that's brown, that's even white that had never seen a doctor that looks like me. When I come in the room, I'm like, hey, I'm a real life Doc McStuffins, which is really cool. And kids get to see that and they're like, oh my God, you really are Doc McStuffins. So that's the legacy that I like to live is that there are real life Doc McStuffins. And you get to see them and I get to fix your boo-boos and I get to make you feel better. So the legacy that I'm always trying to leave is you can do it. Because I was told so many times that because I was from the poorest place in Alabama, because I didn't make this score on the ACT, because I didn't do this or that I would never become a doctor. And I'm
Right.
like, yeah, I'm gonna do all those things. So my mantra is keep trying, keep going,
That's right.
keep doing the work. So I want to leave a legacy that if I can do it, anybody can do it.
That's
So I heard that you was a foodie. And so I heard that you was a foodie. Let's talk a little bit about, since we're about to go into, the holidays and everyone is going to eat really well. Let's talk about some of
Mhm.
those healthier choices. I mean, this is your field, so let's talk a little bit about that. Because most people feel like they can't eat healthy without, eating tree bark and cardboard, right? so,
Correct.
so let's talk a little bit about that.
So I think that it is important going into this season that we remember that there's a lot of diabetes, there's a lot of high blood pressure, there's a lot of high cholesterol. that is going to be sitting around the table with us, right? That is wrapped up in love, that is wrapped up in a good scarf. That is our family. As African Americans, that runs in our family a lot. So when we're making our, our dinner choices, we need to keep our family members in mind. Maybe we need to do the low carb options. Maybe we need to do the low sugar options. Maybe we need to say, well, if I'm going to come off my diet, it will be just for today, just for the holiday, and we won't eat all these leftovers every day for 3-4 days. And then you go back and you're like, why is my sugars still 300s and 400s? Because I'm still eating the cake, I'm still eating the banana pudding, I'm still eating all the sweet potato pies. So I go from two different mantras. One is take that day and enjoy it, but make sure you're taking your medicine, make sure you're drinking your water, and make sure that you say it'll just be today. And also, as the one, I'm not doing the cooking now. If you come to my house, I'm gonna cater for y'all real good. So I'm not cooking. But tell Big Mama or somebody to say, if you don't want to do those healthier options that's out there, why don't you say, well, Big Mama, I'm gonna bring this healthier option in to the dinner table and go from there. So have the conversations about what the meal is gonna look like beforehand and who needs certain changes or meal requirements, and be okay with it.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Dr. Johnson. That was actually going to be my question because, excuse me, November is National Diabetes Month, and a lot of people they know what high sugar is, but they don't even know prior to getting their sugar tested. Like they're not even taking that step to say, I didn't know I had hyperglycemic before it was considered diabetes. What are some of the symptoms, and we know we're not giving out medical advice, but what are some of the symptoms that they can look for before saying, hey, let me make that doctor's appointment?
So some symptoms that you can have that you may be either pre-diabetic or diabetic may be excessive thirst. Like you're thirsty all the time. You're like, I had some water, but I still can't quench my thirst enough. If you're having problems with your vision, you've gone to the doctor, you know that these eyeglasses are your eyeglasses, but you're still having some blurred vision. You are urinating frequently, or you're urinating large amounts when you go. And you're like, I just had a little bit to drink. I shouldn't be peeing this much, and I shouldn't be urinating this often. So those are predominantly the main symptoms that you will see. If your sugars are very high, you may see a drastic amount of weight loss, and you're not working out. You're working out this way, but you're not working out, walking, exercise to show that you would have lost the amount of weight that you have lost. And also you can have numbness, tingling in your feet. So if you're having burning in your feet, you're thirsty all the time, you're having problems with your vision, you're peeing a lot, then you should go and talk to your doctor and say, hey, I was here 3 months ago. You didn't say anything about my sugars, because some tests that we take when we do the blood draw, a sugar is on there. So if you've had a complete blood count or a chemistry panel, then your sugar is on there. So every time my patients come in, I'm checking their level. If the sugar is high some, I go ahead and say the next time you come, we'll go and check your A1C. That's A1C. So that gives us the average of your blood sugar over 3 months. So people say, oh, I ate a piece of cake this morning. Honey, this test here is going to give us the average. So it's going to tell on you. So if you're like, I got this doctor's appointment, I'm going to do right for this week, I'm going to know that you did wrong for 2 months, 2.5 months before coming to the doctor. So we'll check what's called your A1C. If their level is 5.7 to 6.4, then you're considered pre-diabetic. You're on your way to becoming diabetic. If it is 6.5 or higher, then you are diabetic. So even if you get 6.5 and you're right there at 6.5, don't go home and say they said that you are diabetic, whether you take medicine for it or whether you say, I just want to do the lifestyle change. I'm going to cut back on my sugar. I'll cut back on my carbs. I'll cut back on my sweet tea and all of my candy. You still would be considered diabetic. So that's the one big level. So also when you prick your finger, we're pricking our finger right at home. You're checking your finger, you're pricking your finger at the doctor's office. If you're fasting and that number is 126 or higher, then on 2 different occasions, then we say, hey, we need to check that A1C. However, if it is 200 or higher, and you have those symptoms that we talked about, the blurred vision, the excessive thirst, the urinary frequency, the tingling in your feet, then that's considered diabetic. So we have several ways to see if you are diabetic. We can prick your finger, we can draw your blood, and then we can get what's called your hemoglobin A1C, which is the average over 3 months. So we need to be asking our doctors. And if you got a doctor like me, I love everybody. So I want to know how your children doing, your grandchildren doing, because we family. Write your list down. Write your list down. Go in there and say, my patients come in there with a whole list. I'm like, girl, give me this list. Let me write your answers down as we talk through this so I can hand it back. Because sure enough, you're going to get to the door and say, dog, I forgot to ask her. And I'm on to the next room, right? So make sure you're being your advocate in that regard, that you're writing your questions down, but you also know your numbers.
Wow. Thank you for that. Absolutely. That
You're
was
welcome.
helpful.
Yeah, I have a question. 320 Girls Inc. We have to talk about that, because I think that is part of your legacy, and I think that is the inspiration for those little girls, that you're going to be working with, the youth, so to speak. Can we dig a little deep into that?
Yes, so I started 320 Girls Inc. back a couple of years ago, but we started giving a scholarship in the name of a little girl named Cortland Arrington. She was a senior in Birmingham City Schools system, but she was killed by gun violence while at school. So that was so heart wrenching, and her school was right down the street from the hospital that I used to work at. And the biggest thing was her goal was to become a nurse. So it was heavy on my heart to say, what can I do for that community, for that school, for the whole school system? So we started a scholarship in her honor called the Cortland Arrington Scholarship Fund. And every year we give a scholarship in her honor to a girl that's in the Birmingham City school system who's interested in STEM-based learning or entrepreneurship. We've had ladies to go on to Yale, as far as Yale, and that is, I think, amazing that we have poured into Yale and Tennessee State University, the University of Alabama at Tuscaloosa, the University of Alabama at Birmingham. They become nurses. They're working on become doctors. They're working to be physical therapists. And we, in turn, try and mentor them and help them along the way as they progress and matriculate. So 320 Girls is a part of our reaching back and pulling forward.
You mentioned a lot of our HBCUs. How important is, Black universities to not only your work, but to the community?
Oh, it's so very important. I think that it helps us to know our history. It helps us to know our heritage. It helps us to know that there's a safe place in a community. A lot of people shy away from. I hear them shying away from HBCUs because they say that the real world does not look like that. But my thoughts are, what better place and better time in your life than your college years, your 20 years, 20 years of your life. You can go and have the Hillman experience. You can have the Cosby Show experience. We get to love on each other. We get to invest in each other so that when we are out in a world that is more diverse, I can say, well, I know somebody that I know the PJ Mortons. I know the dynamic people that are on Wall Street because we did mentorship there. They did internships there. We walked the same campus with PJ, so we know these people and they're doing great things in our community. And we can say, let's pick up the phone and call them because we need to do some good work in the community. And they're doing amazing things. So I think it is necessary and vital. But go there and have a good time because we know how to party with a purpose.
That's right. Shout out to the Divine Nine. I had to shout out the
Yes,
AKAs.
yes.
Shout out to the Divine Nine. I'm a proud member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated.
Okay, my daddy is a Sigma. My daddy is a
Your
Sigma.
dad
Go
is an
ahead.
excellent gentleman. Shout out to
Yeah.
your dad, you know.
And I'm a Delta, so
Okay,
hey,
there
hey,
you
hey.
go.
Yes.
Okay,
There we
there you
go.
have it. And so that I think when we see that and people see the camaraderie of the historic Black Greek organizations, it's an
Hmm.
important thing, especially when you talk about the HBCUs. And so I love that you're Delta. I have a lot of friends who are Deltas. Those diamonds. I
Great
see
women.
you. Absolutely, absolutely. So let's talk about you know if I was to ask you, right, and I want you to tell me
Hmm.
the first thing that comes to mind. If I was to ask you, who is Dr. Creed Johnson, what would you say?
Hmm. Dr. Cree Johnson is a country girl with a big heart. That's it. Y'all hear this accent?
I was about to say
Yes.
we
I
can
love
hear it. We love it. We
Yes.
love it. We love it. If knowing the challenges that's happening in the world, right?
Hmm.
It's no secret. What would you tell you know those who are watching this unfold to kind of give them hope in terms of pulling the entire community together? What would you tell them?
I would tell them to hold on to each other. Like, this is a time where we need, the old people said, if we ever needed the Lord and love, we sure do need him now. And that's what I would say. I would say we need to pull back on those things of yesterday, of the old days, and remind ourselves that, what the world needs is more love, and I guess a flute album too. To meditate on, to level us out and to meditate on. So I would say a lot of love, a lot of meditation, a lot
Yeah.
of, yeah, that's what we need in this day and age.
Ah,
Sorry, y'all,
man.
the light got my eyes running, so I'm
That's all
here
right.
though.
That's all right. If it was one thing that you would leave for the world, and we already talked about, legacy to a degree, what would be that one thing you would want to leave?
I would want to leave us with the ability to serve others, like to be okay with serving others, right? Oftentimes we feel like serving is for the least of these, and big people, big hearted people do a lot of serving.
Yeah.
So I think that if we're going to continue to grow our next generation, the next legacy, we need to be doing so with love and with a serving heart.
I'm challenged when someone asks me this, but I'm gonna ask you,
Hmm. Okay.
what do you believe your purpose is? What is your purpose?
Ooh, my purpose, I know this answer. My purpose is to help heal people. I think that I was born with healing hands. And every morning I get up and say, okay, Lord, bless these hands and let my hands facilitate your healing to your people. So my purpose is to use my head, my heart, and my hands to heal.
Two more questions.
Okay.
If she said, "Are you ready?" She ready. She ready. If I was to ask you to give a tip, right?
Hmm.
However that means to you, to someone who's watching, what would that tip be?
My tip would be to make yourself a doctor's appointment. Since the pandemic, we have
Yeah.
not been doing a good job at visiting the doctor. So, my tip to you is schedule your doctor's appointment. Don't be mad because they don't want to do it over the phone anymore. Go in, get your labs done, know your numbers, go to the doctor. Oftentimes, people, especially of color, we're afraid. Afraid to know what's what. We're afraid to get those screenings. Go, and even if you're healthy, get your mammogram, get your colonoscopy, get your pap smear. Make
Agreed.
sure your vaccines are up to date. Go to the doctor.
Yeah, us gentlemen are very bad at that.
Ooh.
We'll
Mm.
grind through it, as they say. We'll pain through it. So we
Mhm.
definitely need to do that. You said something. I had one more question after this, but you said something that made me think. Um, when we think of the issues that's plaguing, the black community, and
Mhm.
diabetes is one of them.
Mhm.
How do you encourage people to target those issues that we have in the black community? without, us feeling like ashamed to do it? Like, what would you tell them?
First, I would say that we have to know our family history. So oftentimes we don't know our family history. So we don't know that we're not the first generation to have diabetes. That grandmama had it, that our aunts that had it, our parents have it. So knowing your family history allow and talking about it freely, without shame, without judgment, to say um this is what we have that runs in our family, or this is why such and such died. Because I mean, how many of y'all we know people that died and we don't talk about why they died?
Yeah.
You're like, what? So they something happened, so that we can know and to say, hey, my risk of breast cancer is higher because this person has it or that person had it. You may need to be screened sooner or earlier because of your family history, and because we don't know our family history, we aren't being taken care of adequately. We're not being diagnosed quickly. We're not starting treatment soon. So to get away from that shame, one, we need to know our family history. And two, ladies, just go ahead on and make that man an appointment. Just make his appointment. Just go ahead on and do that.
So, can you talk a little bit about the working wife retreat? Because women, we don't often think, like, we wear so many different hats. We don't think
Mhm.
about, like, I think we think about it in theory, like, okay, I need a break, and talk a little bit about the working wife retreat.
So the Working Wife Retreat is wifeology, and we've been doing it since about 2017-ish. And it has been amazing. We start off with about 25 women, and we get together for a weekend. We leave the kids with the men, which usually mean the men call the grandmamas and send the kids there. We
That's
don't
right.
care.
That's right.
We're like, as long as we're not on the hook for the kids or the man
Yes.
or the food. So we get together, and on Friday night, we just kind of have a meet and greet, and we kind of hang out. And then on Saturday, we have topics and a conference part where we have a lot of doctors, my super friends come to town or wherever we meet up. And they're all board certified physicians or, experts in their fields, but they do something by day. So we have an OBGYN who comes in and does all of our intimacy talks. We have an ER doctor who is our DJ. So, which is
Mm-hmm.
so cool that we as doctors show that we're more than just white coats, stuffy
Mm-hmm.
exam rooms, right? We are out there enjoying ourselves, finding our passions and pouring into everyone. So we do that part. And then in the afternoon, we have like whatever our self care is. If that's, I just want to go take a nap, I want to go by the pool. And we normalize that it's okay. So we had a few new women and they were like, well, why would we come and do nothing? Girl, you're not doing nothing. You pouring into you. You didn't, you're worried because you're nothing. You're guilty about your nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we just kind of get away. And then that night we do after dark with the Dr. Lakeisha, the OBGYN. And on Sunday we have brunch. We pray over ourselves and then we go back into it. So people think that we're going to learn to be a better wife when actually we're going to be better women.
I
We're going to be
I
better
love
women so
that.
we can be better. We can be better for everybody else. Because
Yes.
women, we pour from an empty cup. We don't have a cup. We just pouring and just giving and giving and giving. But at Wifeology, we fill up so that we can in turn pour into our families.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that. I love this whole working wife retreat because a lot of times, like, we're dealing with so many different things, like, and
Hmm.
stress and anxiety and worry and just all these
Yeah.
things, and it leads to health issues further down the
Yes.
line. So
It
that's
leads to
something that
health
we
issues, yeah. And it
yes.
helps you to know that you're not in it alone. So a lot of the women
Mhm.
that come there, high level professionals, that I'm a doctor. I shouldn't have anything wrong with me.
Mhm.
I shouldn't be stressed in my marriage. My kids should be running me crazy because I'm Dr. Creek. No, all
Mhm.
of it. And then you get there, you're like, oh my God, girl, you got the same problem. Oh, these are my people. So we just take care of each other and say, you're not in this alone. And that in itself, guys, is usually enough to make you feel better.
Mhm.
No doubt. I got one for you.
All
All
right.
right, you ready for this?
You be coming with the deep stuff. I'm ready.
I mean, I got some. This is going to be a little rough one for you, but
I
you a
mean,
genius. So come on.
hey.
Here you go. Here we go. Here's one for you. If I was to ask you the one thing that no one else knows about Dr. Cree, you got to dig in that bag, that hospital bag, that medical bag, right? Dig deep and tell me the one thing that no one else knows about a Dr. Johnson.
Okay, the one thing that I don't think anybody really knows, or they'd be surprised to know, is I love all true crime. So any true crime episode, but I just don't love it. Like I'm going to research who Miss Bobbitt was, and I want to know where she lived, where she is now. Did she go to jail? Is she still in jail? Oh, she get out next year, and she live in Georgia. Like so, I am a true true crime fan, and I can watch it all day. My husband's like, must you watch one more episode of Snap? Yes, I need that. I need one more. So that's you, girl. You know about it, then. So.
Yes, all the time. And I'm getting off of like once the show goes off, and I'm oh, let me look her up. Like, what does she do? Like, how much time she getting? It's like this real, and then I Google the area. Like,
yes.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite one. I think you got my favorite answer for all the questions there. Yeah. No doubt. Well, let's give a round of applause.
Yes.
Why don't you tell everyone what you have coming up next? Do you have anything that's new that everybody should check out, and how they can get in contact with you and all that good old stuff?
Yes, we just launched the date and the place for Wifeology 2024, which is our Working Wife Retreat. It is going to be in Nashville at the Gaylord Opryland Hotel, and it's going to be June 7th through the 9th. And to learn more, they can go to www.drcree.com. That's doctorkre.com/wifeology. Tickets are on sale. So ladies, if you're a working wife, if you're engaged, if you separate and don't really like that man, but you still married to him, come on, we got you.
No doubt. I love it. I got an idea for you. All right. Make sure I think that you should create like a little book or pamphlet, Wifeology, right?
Okay.
And talk about, some quick tips and, some healthy things that you already have a background in, and, coin and put your face on it, Wifeology, and then
It's already trademarked.
there you go. That's what I'm talking about. And then there you go. And then just give a little, nod to Charles Gregory. We Talk Weekly, that we support you. No doubt.
I got you.
There we go. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Mrs. There we go. We gotta give him some props. We talk about Wifeology. We gotta talk about the gentleman. So kudos to the hubby, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Yes,
Mrs. Dr. Cree Johnson. Shout out to you and everything else that you're doing. We wish you the best. And one thing that we say on the show, as you already hear, once you come to the show, you're a friend to the show, so you're always welcome to come back. And I think, we would love to bring you back a little bit more often and talk a little bit about health, and when we're talking, having more conversation, especially about men's health, because we don't do what we supposed to do, But we're getting better, though. We're getting better.
Okay, we think we're
We're getting better.
Just let me know when. Your people call my people.
Yes.
We're going to help you out.
There you go. So don't go anywhere. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, you already know we got the sizzle. So we'll be right back after this. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
and the beautiful. And you already know what's coming up next. You ready for the sizzle?
Yes, I'm ready.
There you go. So we ready for the sizzle. Give it to me early.
Yes. So make sure you guys follow us on all social media and major podcast platforms. You want to support what we do, make a donation on that Cash App to $ We Talk Weekly. All right, so after rumors of Will Smith and Dwayne Martin having sex resurfaced, Jada Pinkett Smith responded to those rumors with 2 words: "We suing." So former personal assistant Brother Bilal did an interview on Unwind with Tasha K and alleged to have walked in on Will Smith and Dwayne Martin having sex. So Jada sat down with the Breakfast Club and discussed her book Worthy. Jada spoke of the allegations of Will and Dwayne, and she said, "We're going to take legal action because it's one thing to have your opinion about somebody versus just making up salacious, malicious stories. So that's actionable." And Jada kind of gave the whole ordeal some context. She said it's based around this person's idea that they, in some way, were doing business around Will's book and that they spent money and that they needed to be compensated. So he already tried to do this money shakedown. Will was willing to give him a certain amount and he didn't take it. So this whole situation is based on that. So People magazine spoke to Will's reps, who stated this story is completely fabricated and the claim is unequivocally false. Another source close to the Smiths said they've dealt with and ignored innuendo and homophobic rumors for years. Will and Jada are united that this is just another person trying to use their fame for advancement and they will sue him. So, I know.
Tasha K get sued by Cardi B?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
2 people that's got sued
Right.
by celebrities.
She gonna get sued
Right,
again.
right, exactly.
Oh, she can get sued too?
Yeah, she had him on the show.
Oh.
She had him on the show, and I mean, I didn't get the opportunity to watch it, but
Yeah, because when you go to,
Yeah.
I've seen the clips of, how he was kind of describing what he walked in and saw. As that, oh, he was murdering Will Smith in that room. Da-da-da.
Sure did.
Yeah, so it's like,
I didn't hear no allegedly.
yeah.
I mean, in the clips I seen, I didn't hear no allegedly or possibly or anything like that. So
Right. Yeah, you do have to say allegedly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see. They said they're suing, so if that's false, then I would, hope that some type of legal action is taken. But Cassie, she has settled a lawsuit that she filed against former boyfriend Diddy after accusing him of rape, physical abuse, and sex trafficking. Cassie, whose real name is Cassandra Ventura, said, "I have decided to resolve this matter amicably on terms that I have some level of control. I want to thank my family, fans, and lawyers for their unwavering support." So Diddy also released a statement saying, "We have decided to resolve this matter amicably. I wish Cassie and her family all the best. Love." So in her lawsuit, she had alleged that over their 10-year relationship, she had endured years of beatings from Diddy, leaving her bloodied and bruised, sexual abuse. And let me just put the disclaimer out there that this is, it's a little traumatic to kind of hear these allegations. But she was saying that she endured years of beatings from Diddy and leaving her bloodied and bruised, sexual abuse and controlling behavior. Allegedly, Diddy involved her in freak-offs with male prostitutes where he would watch, masturbate, and record the encounters. So Diddy allegedly introduced Cassie to copious amounts of drugs, including ecstasy and ketamine. Cassie feared for her life, so she never went to police. And also in the lawsuit, it's Diddy allegedly had one of Cassie's boyfriend's cars blown up. So during that time in 2012, she was dating Kid Cudi, and Kid Cudi's car exploded in his driveway. So there was another incident at a hotel in Los Angeles in 2016 where Cassie tried to leave the hotel room after there was a freak-off that went on. And this was while Diddy was sleeping, and he woke up and followed her out into the hallway and threw a glass vase at her. So this incident was captured on the hotel footage, and Diddy paid $50,000 to the hotel to obtain the footage. So initially, Diddy had offered her 8 figures and she turned it down. And Cassie filed her lawsuit under the Adult Survivors Act, which was a 1-year window allowing sex abuse victims to bring civil lawsuits against their, abusers. So Cassie filed her lawsuit before the statute of limitations was set to expire. So I don't know if we will hear about the details of the settlement and all that, but it's just unfortunate because these allegations are very, very, very serious. I've heard some people saying that Diddy made the right choice.
Yes, he did.
By
You think? You think?
Yeah, because I think the parties had been talking back and forth for like a little while before this actually came to public.
Social media,
My
yeah.
question is, why didn't he pay up front though?
Right,
Like
right.
before, I know that the conversation was like, oh, here's what my ask is. And then now you're saying after I did it, like it was almost as if he called her bluff. Because you had this conversation beforehand. And he's
Right.
like, all right, go ahead.
Exactly.
But he didn't know it was going to do what it did.
Yeah.
No,
And
no.
it sounds like a Cosby situation too. Like once she signed whatever she signed,
Yeah.
it's not, you can't do double jeopardy to bring it back up, because that's what happened with Cosby.
Right.
He paid out of court. She signed off. She was accepted of it, but then I guess the depositions showed, once they said that, that's why he sat for that time frame.
Exactly. And the kind of the same way that those things were happening with how that whole R. Kelly situation played out. They came out with the Surviving R. Kelly, and then that led to police investigation, FBI, and all that stuff. When you're talking about, taking her to different places and having these freak offs and all that, that's where the sex trafficking comes in, because it's like, same thing.
She was only like 19, right? He was in.
Well, when they first started dating, she was 19. So I guess that's probably, when stuff was starting. Yeah, this stuff, So
it ain't over, did he? I don't think it's over. I think a lot of stuff gonna come. He's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he really has, and other people were saying like, so many different things were brought up, like, Young Miami, is this what did she take Cassie's place? And then there was stuff about they were break. It was just like opening a can of worms for like the public.
Tupac, all of that stuff. So
exactly, and people were talking about Kim Porter. They were talking about his first kid's mom, and how. He had abused her, and allegedly she was dating somebody from, one of the security guards was saying she was dating somebody from the EPMD, and Diddy found out, and he beat her up so bad that she was trying to crawl underneath the car to get away from him. It was crazy.
Well, I don't want to allege anything. We'll find out all that good stuff. Stay on to all allegedly. We'll stay on top of the story.
Exactly.
He got long money. I'm just saying.
Yeah, exactly. So, we'll. I guess I don't know if we'll see what's going to happen with that. But the Celebrity Sizzle Award goes to T.I. He just celebrated the grand opening of his first affordable housing development in his hometown of Atlanta with a ribbon cutting to officially open his development. So T.I. was joined by many others, including Tiny and Mayor Andre Dickens. And at the ceremony, T.I. said, with gentrification, 95% of the people who work in Atlanta can't afford to live in Atlanta because they've been pushed out by big people who come in with the big developments. Right. Our grandparents and great-grandparents, the houses they worked hard to own for decades, now they can't even afford to pay the taxes. So they lose their houses. He says, so we have to make sure that the people who made this city and the culture of this city what it is still have a place in this city and can afford to stay there. Somebody has to be a part of that charge. So shout out to T.I. for providing access to affordable housing in Atlanta for families. And thanks to its funding, 140 units are available for them.
That's dope. Yeah.
That's awesome.
We Talk Weeklies after the talk on WPPM-LP Philadelphia, 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies after the talk. Was that the sizzle?
That was a sizzle.
And that was a sizzle, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. Actually, we're done. This show was over. I thought we had another show. We Talk Weekly, y'all. We out here. We out here.
We out here.
We out here like last year. I'm your boy Charles Gregory with the beautiful
Lawrence
and the beautiful.
Classy ladies.
And we out, y'all.
Peace.